I continued to make that album, and so we finished it, and I brought it up to him, and he listened to it, and he said, "You need a hit single." I said, "Well, what about It's a Miracle? And what about that one? And what about that one?" He said, "No, you need a career-making record." Okay, I'll go home and I'll write a career-making song, which is impossible. It's impossible. I mean, these people, you know, you luck into it. I can write good songs, but a career-making song? I'm not sure about that one. I don't know anybody who could do that except for Diane Warren, who can do anything. But so I went back and I wrote a couple of more, you know, with Hal David, Burt Bacharach's partner, you know, and they were wonderful songs. And I got this phone call from Clive. He had found a song that was a minor hit in England called Brandy, and he wanted me to hear it because he thought that might be right for me. And I thought it because I was the songwriter. Don't give me somebody else's song. But it was Clive, and you know, I listened to it, and it was a rock and roll song called Brandy. And he saw my show, he heard my album, and he gives me this. He thinks this is the career-making song for me. And it was it was a nice rock and roll song called Brandy. Oh, Brandy, well, you came and you gave without taking, like that. So, you know, what am I going to do with this, right? So I went into the studio with Ronnie. Both of us said, I don't know, he thinks it's a hit song. So I sang, oh, Brandy, well, I swear. And then we invited him down and we played him. He said, what's that? I said, that's the thing you just gave me. He said, that's terrible. I said, I know. But during the afternoon, in order to learn this Brandy song, I had slowed it down. And because I like to do it, I changed the chords around. Put a key change in it, and then I forgot about it. I just, you know, I went in to do this rock and roll song. So I showed him, I went into the piano, and I played the ballad version of Brandy with my key changes and my new chord changes. He said, do that, just do that, do that. So I sat at the piano, and he said, we can't use Brandy. We can't use Brandy on the talkback. We can't use Brandy. Sing Mandy, because there was a hit record called Brandy out 2 years before that. Brandy, You're a Fine Girl, right? So we changed the names Brandy, and I played the slow version of that rock and roll song, which is now called Mandy, and that was it. We put a small band behind it later on, and we added Mandy to that second album, and my life changed. I exploded into a million pieces.